We moved from the look or see portion, and we're now entering into the judge phase. If you've not picked up on this yet, we've been judging through the perspective of scriptures. And yet this will be the first time that we're judging through a story from the happily named Book of Judges. First brave person we encounter tonight is a judge, and her name is Deborah. Deborah was an incredible military leader, the only female judge listed in the Old Testament Book of Judges, and a prophetess of God. So let's jump over to Judges chapter 4. One day she sent for Barak, son of Abinoam, who lived in Kadesh in the land of Naphtali. She said to him, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you. Call out 10,000 warriors from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun at Mount Tabor. And I will call out Sisera, commander of Jabin's army, along with his chariots and warriors to the Kenosha River. There I will give you victory over him." Barak told her, "I will go, but only if you go with me." "Very well," she replied. "I will go with you, but you will receive no honor in this venture, for the Lord's victory over Shirash will be at the hands of a woman." So Deborah went back with Barak to Kadesh. At Kadesh, Barak called together the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 warriors went with him. And Deborah also went with them. Yeah, that's the thing I love about the Old Testament. There are some wacky names in there. And I hope I got most of those pronunciations correct. There's lots of confusing names. So let me help you navigate what's going on here. God's people, the Israelites, were being oppressed by the Canaanite army. God had assured his prophetess, Deborah, that they would get the victory in the battle between the Israelites and the Canaanites. Deborah chose Barak to lead the military battle that would free Israel from the Canaanite oppressors. In the passage from the Bible we just read, Deborah laid out to Barak her strategy for how this battle should be approached. Geographically, there is a clearer path for this battle to be taking place. That might have been why Barak was reluctant to lead this attack plan on his own. He said the only way he would follow the plan is if Deborah was with him. I'd like to see what's in front of me. Does anyone else have a clear path? Deborah had already been promised the victory from God, so Barak let his fear hold back his faith. Fear is a big deal. We're afraid of lots of stuff. But Barak was fearful of Deborah's plan, so he was so scared to proceed without her. He robbed himself of the blessing of being fully used by God. His fear was greater than his faith. To be brave, we have to let our faith empower us over our fears. We serve an awesome God who doesn't leave us alone to jump in faith, which is the second thing we got to do. When God calls us to be brave, we got to know that God's going to be there to support us. To be brave, know that God's there to support us. God not only supported Barak and the 10,000 army people, but he sent his prophetess, Deborah, to share this message and then to back up the message with her presence. Two final things about this little passage reading. If you read the whole thing, the whole battle ends up with a pretty gruesome death. There's some nasty violence in scriptures that would give some movies and some video games a run for the money. But the second point is, at one point, Deborah said that the victory of Shirash would be only at the hands of women. You might have thought that she was talking about herself, but surprise ending, it was another woman, Jael, who had the victory over this great Canaanite woman. And we got to recognize this is Old Testament. This is even back before Jesus' time. Women were not highly valued. They did not have a high place. But in God's world, in God's imagination, God thinks that women can be military and political leaders and prophetesses, okay, and judges. God believes in women. Young men, young women, I invite you to think about where God's calling you to be brave in your life and how God might be sending mentors or guides like the good Judge Deborah to help you along your way. So take a moment, parents, young people, and try to discern who are or who could be the mentors in your life. Judge your situation and look for mentors, not unlike Deborah.